Oh, it's beautiful. God, I love this song. Welcome to Ori and the Blind Forest, everyone. I'm so damn excited to get to this. We're finally doing a Metroidvania that isn't
he's playing the definitive edition. It's not the real version.
Yes, you're right. But I chose to play this version because of save room warping, which is added in this version.
Wasn't in the original?
Nope.
I never understood that.
Well, yeah.
Well, like, is there any fast travel?
No, you just got a platform everywhere.
That's... Look, I get it. But at a certain point, guys, it's not fun.
Okay, well, to be fair with Ori, it doesn't really need it. The world is small. This is a very short Metroidvania. Like, my first playthrough of this was like 4 hours. Generally, every playthrough of this game that I do is around 4 hours. And this playthrough here is also about 4 hours, and it includes all the new stuff for the definitive edition. So it's not a very big game. It's so like getting from place to place is not really an issue at all.
Time for sadness.
Yep. Anyone who's played this game knows that it has a very sad story to begin with. Really gets you hooked in. Genuinely, when I played this for the first time, I was tearing up a little bit.
It is a gorgeous game.
It is. This game is... I love the art style of this so much.
Just gonna get into it now. I have not finished this game. I'm about halfway through. It didn't hold my attention.
Just like every game that I love. At least you played half of this game instead of 5 minutes of it. So, you know what? I'll take it this time. Yeah, now we get to play as Ori. So Ori is like a little light creature from the tree of life in this world, essentially. And he got separated from the tree during a big storm.
Does anybody complain about this game's Metroid syndrome, where you have to watch a 5-minute cutscene before you can play the game?
Well, these playable segments you have to play through, but you can, like, skip the regular, like, uninteractable cutscenes, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's honestly, like, when you replay this, and if you're trying to go faster, it's honestly not that bad.
Yeah.
Plus,
I don't think it's that bad in Metroid, but, like, you know, it is a complaint, I get it. Sometimes you just want to get moving.
I get it, too. But I also love this. This has... the story of this game, the art style, the music, everything is just like perfection to me. It's like I genuinely I have no complaints for this game. I love it to bits. It's just one of those that's just like great for me. Every single time I go back to it, I can play this infinitely. And yeah, never get tired of it. Will o' the Wisps is a different story just because that game is like, obviously, it's much more ambitious, it's larger, takes a lot longer to beat. There's a lot more aspects to it that you have to kind of keep track of, like side quests and other things. But this game is very straightforward, and I was not saying that as a bad thing for Will o' the Wisps. I still love that game. But it's not like this game where I can just endlessly replay it whenever I feel like it, you know?
Yeah. I'm glad this is one of those games that with gorgeous visuals can back it up with gameplay too.
Yes.
This is a very solid game. I didn't finish it for my own dumb petty reasons, so ignore any comment I have about that.
Yeah.
But I can't really complain about much in this game other than petty shit.
Yeah. And now the world's going to shit for some reason.
Yep.
Nobody knows why. I know why, but nobody in this world knows why. And it's because the night that the tree was calling to Ori. So the light that brings life to the forest is essentially like lethal to creatures not of the light. So whenever it did like the big calling to Ori thing, characters like Ori's like adoptive mother here were like scared of it because obviously if they stay in it too long, they will die. And the main villain of this game is also a creature of the darkness, as you could call them. And she has a little nest of little owls that she was protecting. So she went and basically destroyed the Tree of Life, and that's why everything's going to shit now.
Yeah.
So, but
very sad.
It is very sad because, like, really, there's no villains in this world. There's just conflict due to the differences and the different kinds of life and how they are. So, you know, it's surprisingly nuanced for a story like this. But, you know, at least for this game, it does have a very, you know, feel-good ending. Will-o'-the-Wisps, not so much. I'm not going to spoil that game, but that game made me cry, like, sob cry.
How can they make it worse than this? My goodness.
Well, you know, maybe play this, and then go play Will-o'-the-Wisps.
No, I don't think I'm ready for that.
I think you would actually like Will-o'-the-Wisps a lot more than this one. Just due to the higher emphasis on combat in that game. It's much more action. And it's still very Ori. Like, you still are this, like, very brittle, small creature with very acrobatic abilities. But you're going up against these larger-than-life boss fights in that game, and it's really cool. This game doesn't really have anything like boss fights or anything like that. You get, like escape sequences all the time.
Oh my goodness, I can't watch this shit anymore.
I know. She's dead. And I am sad. Like, this shit genuinely had me, like, tearing up.
What fucked up game designer decided to write this? I hate you for life.
An orphan once more. That line always gets me. It like, goddamn. Poor
You're gonna
Ori.
hate me, but why does the voice sound like Dorman from Shadow of the Colossus?
It kind of does. That has more of a...
It has, like, the same effects, the same deep voice. I'm just saying.
That voice has, like, many voices layered over itself, though. So it kind of has a different vibe to it.
Yeah, this is more of a reverb effect and echo effect. But
Yeah.
still, like, I don't know, that's all I can think of when I hear it. So I'm like, is this a Shadow of the Colossus sequel?
Yeah, you know, we have, like, shadow creatures, we have light creatures. It's pretty much Shadow of the Colossus.
The way the game confirmed. I haven't even beat those games, and I still want more.
Dude, this part right here, where Ori's walking through the thorns, this is actually a part of the map, and, like, if you're, like, going for completion or whatever, you come back here later on. And yeah. I remember, like, coming back here and being like, "Aw, I remember this." And you can just, like, double jump over it at that point. Poor Ori. Yeah, you're playing this right now.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, believe me, I remember.
Poor Ori. This was one of those games when it got announced by Microsoft, because this is like an Xbox game, essentially. I remember.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I remember when this got announced. It was like at an E3 one year, and it was after Xbox had been floundering for a few years. And I remember just immediately just being captivated by it. Like, holy shit, a real video game from Microsoft?
Hey now. Halo 5's a real video game.
Yeah, but it's one that I wasn't interested in at the time. No. Dude, the music in this game. Oh, I actually just got chills. Like, I genuinely got like a shiver through my body. God, I fucking love this game.
Tell me the developers played Shadow of the Colossus without telling me they played Shadow of the Colossus.
I wouldn't be surprised if most game developers at nowadays have played that game, because that is one of the pivotal like video games or art.
The games, yeah,
Yeah,
that you have to play.
yeah. And now Ori is Ori.
I'm gonna have to live stream it one day. I really need to play through it.
No. Now this is technically a 100% run. It won't end up showing as 100% at the end, because so as you travel along the map, it fills it in.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't go to every square inch of the map,
I hate that. I hate that so much.
I really hate that too, because I spend like ages trying to find where the one little sliver of map that I haven't filled in yet is.
This is like the one thing I hated most about Metroid Dread and Samus Returns, is they changed the map from, instead of filling in with squares, it fills in on every inch of progress you make. So anytime I got to space jump, I would comb through the entire map and space jump everywhere I could to fill it out.
Yes.
I just wanted it to look nice.
Yeah. And yeah, look, we found Sane. He's the tree. He's quite literally the tree. He's the light of the tree, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we find out later that it's the thing that I believe Kuwan's the name of the owl. Kuwan basically ripped Sane out of the tree and like crushed it and threw it into the forest somewhere. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so now we're teaming up with the tree to restore the forest, essentially.
Hello, son. I abandoned you, and it caused your mother's death.
Hello, son. You ran away, even when you weren't conscious, and I hate you for it.
Oh my goodness.
But oh man, what was? Oh yeah, I was gonna say
choices.
Yeah, you got a skill tree here. I
think this was one of the things I didn't really like about the game.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not really big on skill trees in these kinds of games.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I don't mind it for this game, because like most of it is like little convenient stuff, and it's only once you get to like near the end of it that it becomes stuff like a triple jump, or being able to see through invisible walls to find collectibles, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I much prefer something like Hollow Knight, where upgrades you need are, of course, unmissable. And then the only extra abilities that are optional are charms that you can only put so many of on. So you can choose different extra effects. I kind of prefer something like that.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Because in like a Metroidvania, I don't think it feels that great to go through the game. But it feels like a lot of things are walled off because you just don't do enough damage yet due to levels, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but I would say this game doesn't really have that problem, because none of the skill tree things are like super necessary for progression. Your real necessary things are the actual abilities that you find in the map, you know? So, like, the one we're going to be coming up on first, I believe, is the wall jump, like the wall cling. So it still has the like standard Metroidvania style progression where you are gaining abilities from exploration and whatever. So yeah, I never really had an issue. It's definitely like, I think maybe more of an issue in what's it called, Will o' the Wisps, because in that game, I wouldn't say it's an issue in that game, but you have different weapons in that game that you can equip at a given time. And they change up how you fight things. And it's like more like, I believe each of those like weapons that you can find, they have their own different upgrades, and the way that you unlock some of them is by purchasing them in a shop or something, rather than finding them along the way. So yeah, It's Will of the Wisps is a very different beast to this, I would say. But and this is probably going to be another situation like Doom 2016 where I'm constantly comparing to the sequel. But I will try to keep that to a minimum. I'll bring up comparisons.
How do you feel about sequels that make that big of radical changes? You know, you got this. I think Half-Life to Half-Life 2 is another big one.
Yeah.
Doom 2016 to Eternal.
I'm perfectly okay with it, as long as whatever the sequel they make is also, you know, fun, you know. Because, like, you know, I'm a Sonic fan. Pretty much every Sonic game is completely different from the last one. So, it's never really bothered me unless it, you know, doesn't end up being as fun or whatever. But I think Will of the Wisps is a really fun game. I think Half-Life 2 is an excellent game, obviously.
Yeah.
So, I do like when sequels do that and pull it off. It is something I would say is a lot scarier to pull off than just playing it safe and making another game that everyone wants.
I'm trying to think of sequels that mess it up. With, like, that radical of a change to the game. You know? I'm sure there's some out there, but
like we were talking about Sonic Heroes after Sonic Adventure 2. A lot of people would argue, but I don't personally.
Does it really come off as a sequel though?
It does to me. Like it is a direct story follow up as well as like building on the ideas they bring up in SA2. Yeah, but it's such a different vibe,
so it doesn't really feel like a sequel. It just feels like another game with a couple of advancements. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't even call Shadow a sequel to Heroes.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
They just don't feel like sequels to previous games.
I think Heroes builds off the ideas of SA2's speed stages in a lot of ways, so that's why I would maybe think of it that way, but yeah, it is a very different game, so I don't really know. The difference there and with like Ori and its sequel is that Will of the Wisps definitely feels like an Ori game, you know, like it is very much Ori through and through, even though it has all these new ideas and a lot of new things going on. But yeah, we just got our first upgrade. We can now wall jump. Yeah. And we need that to get our asses back out of this cavern that we fell into.
That would probably be good.
Yeah. But upgrades that I would recommend getting off the bat, magnetizing the little shits that fall out of enemies and whatever. That is very convenient to have. And just the like damage ones, like stuff that is like make Sane attack faster, make him be able to target more things, you know. I always go for those things first. But listen to this music. It's very cheery, very fun. This is...
How dare they after that intro?
Well, it's fine. They just gave us a wall jump, so we can start having fun.
Whimsy and wonder.
This game is Whimsy and Wonder, the video game. For sure.
See, I'm glad it can do all of its moods really well. Have that whimsy and wonder, and then also destroy your soul.
Yeah. How do you feel about the portable checkpoint system?
I wasn't paying attention enough. Explain it to me.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, so in the bottom where you see your health and everything, you have little energy cells. If you hold the B button while standing still in a safe area, you will spend one of the energy cells to make a save point, which allows you to access your skill tree and you know, obviously save your game and everything.
Yeah.
I like it, but it gets to the point where like I get into the groove of platforming and like exploring and everything, and I just forget to do it all the fucking time.
There are standard checkpoints, right?
No, actually. You need to save the game yourself often. So, yeah. And if you forget to save for a while,
a game and like say it's bad because of these systems, but I will say I generally prefer it when I don't have to worry about saving.
I'm gonna guess that's why you quit playing. You probably went a long time without saving, and then you died to like some spikes, and then you were back like 30 minutes, and you were like, nah, I ain't doing that again.
Maybe. I mean, I could always load up the save. I still have it. Just gotta turn on my Xbox, but like...
Wee.
I don't know, I think I just went into ADHD mode and didn't come back.
Yeah.
You know, my Final Fantasy X playthrough is 2.5 years and still going.
But
I still plan to beat it. I'm at Mount Gaga set. It's hell. But I plan to beat it.
But if you ever went back to Ori, would you start a new save or just go from there?
100%. Oh, okay. 100%.
Yeah, because like it'd be so weird. It'd be so weird to like hop back into a Metroidvania after years of not playing it midway through. Wee.
The only time I ever did that was with like Hollow Knight to play the one of the DLCs. But like I had beaten the game at that point. I just wanted to play the DLC.
That is fair. Can I make this? Ugh. I feel like I could have made that if I really tried.
Oh well.
Yeah. That item there, that's a just straight up a skill point. So collecting
the only time I'll really worry about trying to get that kind of shit is in like Super Metroid if I'm practicing wall jumps.
Yeah.
But that's like a very special example that hasn't really been done again.
I remember, weirdly, like, on my first playthrough, for some reason it was really hard to get used to this game's, like, controls at first. Ori is very loosey-goosey.
Yeah, I remember having a lot of issues with it. I died a lot in my playthrough of this.
Yeah, like, here in this area, like, just getting used to the wall jump and like trying to avoid these projectiles as they're coming at you and stuff. I remember.
I think one thing that hurts you is if you're used to like Mega Man X.
Yeah.
Because I think you want to control it like that, but it does not control like that.
It's like Mega Man X if he had a little, like just a touch of added like momentum to his movement.
I hadn't played X at this time, but I played Hollow Knight, which has the Mega Man X jump in it, and wall climbing, like ripped wholesale.
Yeah. Yeah, this game is like that, but they have like a touch of like momentum to the left-right movement.
Yeah, like because it feels like you're actually a creature.
Yeah.
But versus Mega Man X, which is very gamey in its feel.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel as gamey.
It still feels like very tight and precise once you get the hang of it. But it is something to get.
It is a wonderfully controlling game. You just gotta get used to it. Blaster Master Zero is another game that I have to get used to. Oh, fuck this owl. It jump scared the shit out of me a few times.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know exactly where.
I love the chases with Kuon. They're great.
But Blaster Master Zero has kind of a similar problem because, okay, in most games when you jump and hold like right, and then you let go of right, you'll slow down.
Yeah.
And decelerate. In Blaster Master Zero, you do not. If you want to decelerate, you have to hit left.
Oh, you have to hit the opposite direction?
Yeah, it takes a very long time to get used to it.
Gotcha.
But once you do, it's very smooth and a very fun feeling game.
My bad. I called her Kuon earlier. I think Kuon's another creature in this game, but no, it's Kuro.
Get it, Kuro? Because it's a black owl? Get it?
No, I don't actually.
Neither do I. I just wanted to sound cool. Kuro means black in Japanese, guys.
Wow. Cool. You know, one thing I wanted to talk about with this game, a lot of people give the Unity engine a lot of shit because, like, oh, only bad games get made with that. But this game is like one of the most gorgeous things I've ever fucking seen, and it is fully made in Unity.
Who says bad games are made in Unity? There's plenty of good games in Unity.
It's like the stigma against the engine because
people just want to hate the engine because of their controversies.
No. it's well before the controversies happened. It just when it first showed up, you know, it was a free gameplay engine for anyone to access and use. And because of that, a lot of people were like getting into it and just making a bunch of shitty video games. And so, and because like the free version of Unity, it has that Unity splash screen at the very beginning of it, people just associated shitty games with Unity. And that stigma still exists to this day, even amongst some game developers. Like, they've only used Unreal, and they're like, I'd never use Unity because only shitty games get made with that. But this game is fucking amazing, and it's a Unity game, and it's like one of the great, and tons of indie games.
It literally
are
just
made
depends on which engine you feel like using and if it suits your game. That's all it is.
Yeah. Like, you can make whatever game you want in pretty much any game engine, if it's robust enough, you know. And
yeah,
Unity
as long as it
is
supports what you
enough.
want to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, you know, Source is a great engine, but you're probably only going to make first-person shooters with it.
Yeah.
Unreal, on the other hand, and Unity are engines made for everything because they sell to a mass market.
Yeah. And it's also, like we brought up Sonic earlier, it's also why that they couldn't really sell the Hedgehog engine as a game engine for others to use, because it was heavily, like, based around Sonic games.
Yeah. Some other companies are starting to make engines that are more robust, like, the RE engine from Capcom.
Yeah.
Which doesn't stand for Resident Evil, by the way. So I'm sure you thought it did.
Yeah, I think everyone thought it did.
It's, Reach for the Moon, I think.
Well, that just makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, I think it ends as R engine. I could be wrong on that, though.
I don't know. But, yeah, on
but
the...
like
on
that
the...
one, because that runs, the Resident Evil games, Devil May Cry 5, and probably some other stuff, too.
Yeah. One thing, real quick, back on the game, I was just thinking about it because of what I was doing there. One thing I really, really like about Ori, since, like, Sane pretty much aims and attacks for you, like, you have to press X to attack with Sane, but since he does that, you pretty much can, like, 100% fully focus on Ori's movement, and I think that was the goal with the combat in this game, was allowing you to focus on precisely moving Ori around.
Well, it's one of the secrets to why modern melee combat feels so much better. Because, like, you play something like the OG Zelda games, and your melee is literally just your sword sticking out in front of you.
Yeah.
There are no arcs. You play this, and you have auto-aiming, which doesn't sound like it'd be as good. But yeah, like you said, it lets you fully focus on your movement. If you play Hollow Knight, your character is tiny, but your attack arc is almost bigger than your character. Like, it's huge. You have a ton of room to work with. Melee weapons have to have rage. As weird as it sounds.
Yeah.
Because you play Doom, and the reason you never use melee weapons in Doom is because you have to get as close to an enemy as possible, and the damage is just never worth it.
Yeah, there's something to be said, because like I think a lot of people would call this and stuff like Hollow Knight very precise movement and combat games. Well, maybe not this, but like Will-o'-the-Wisps, definitely. But like, you can make a game as precise as you want, but if stuff doesn't work in an intuitive way and isn't fun for the player, then it's not going to be a fun game. So like, you need disjointed hitboxes. Like, Ori's hitbox here for enemies is probably smaller than his like platforming hitbox. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, how much have you paid attention to like the hitbox in Doom 2016? It's massive for glitter kills and for the chainsaw. That's why it feels so good.
It has to, there needs to be a balance struck between, because you can't just make everything the exact size that it is in the real world, you know? It's just not going to feel good to play. And yeah, the games like this and Hollow Knight, they strike a really good balance with that.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't, they probably wouldn't be as, you know, well regarded as they are.
Right.
So
I think Hollow Knight Silksong is one of the most anticipated games of all time, so yeah, you don't do that with a fluke.
it's never gonna fucking come out. Mark my words.
Don't make me cry, please. This part's already making me sad enough. And Silksong, I just had to mention Silksong.
Yeah? Why'd you do that?
Because I want it, man, so badly.
I still haven't even played Hollow Knight, so, you know, that's where I'm at.
You can play it when Silksong actually comes out.
Yeah, I will do that. I will actually wait to play Hollow Knight until Silksong comes out, so I don't have to wait. That's pretty much kind of what happened to me with Metroid. Like, I wasn't a huge Metroid fan at all. Like, I always wanted to play the games. But, by the time I actually went and played them, it was only, like, a couple of years I had to wait for Dread, you know?
Yeah, so I didn't really get into them until after Samus Returns had released.
Yeah. Yeah, same for me. Like, that Samus Returns was around the time in which I was like, yeah, you know what? I should pick up these games and try them out. I think Zero Mission was probably my first Metroid game.
It technically was for me, but I played it on an emulator on my phone, and somehow made it to the Mother Brain fight, but just could not win because I couldn't shoot missiles and jump and move in a good way because it was a touchscreen. So that's kind of where the run ended.
Yeah.
I don't even remember fighting Ridley, and I don't know how I did, but I must have because I got to Mother Brain.
At least with Ridley in that game, you kind of can just like spam the missile button and have a prayer, and you'll make it through.
Yeah. I don't know how I couldn't have had that many upgrades.
Yeah. I don't know.
The
but
mysteries.
yeah, with this game, it does, like we were talking earlier, it is kind of hard to get in, like not hard to get into, but it's hard to start because you're getting used to Ori's movement, and they are kind of testing you on it pretty early on.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, this first dungeon is all gonna be one big movement test, and it's awesome. Basically the dungeons in this game are like massive platforming challenges essentially, and I love every single one of them. They're so much fun because the movement in this game so precise. They really push it to the limit with this game, with all the different abilities you get.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how many Metroidvanias are out there that have, like, just dungeons.
Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot. Really, it's this game.
It's like Metroid has, like, Crazy Layer and Ridley's Layer, but, like...
But those are just part of the basic map, you know?
Yeah, but they're still much smaller sections that pretty much just serve to get you to the bosses, but they don't really feel like big challenges. More of, like, epic atmospheric settings to get you ready for the boss.
Yeah.
Mainly thinking of Norfair. With that music.
Mm-hmm. I'm also thinking of the one room in, I think it's Ridley's Lair in Norfair, in Super Metroid, where they have those fucking, really fucking strong space pirates.
Yeah.
I fucking hate those fuckers.
I don't like that.
This game does actually have sections where it is kind of like a locked off combat challenge that you have to contend with before you can move on. But it's like, obviously the combat in this is not anything crazy. It's just spam X and move Ori good, and that's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
So.
But it's cool that, again, they keep it a little bit mindless, just so you can focus on what's important.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you can call it mindless, but it really isn't, because they really want you to move around. It is sort of like Doom in that way. You got to keep your ass fucking on the move at all times with this, and it's awesome. It's really fun. And like areas
has, like some of the easiest weapons to aim, because aiming's not supposed to be the challenge of Doom.
Yeah. And like areas like this, This game's map design is like amazing as well, because you have slow areas like that where you're like, you have to use the enemies to break through and everything, and it's really slow. But then, like, you go through the next area, and then you have to come back through that area that you did that was really slow, but you have this new ability that completely recontextualizes everything. And I think this game is one of the best Metroidvanias ever to do that kind of design.
Yeah.
Because even Metroid, like, I get the movement upgrades in Metroid, like the speed booster and whatever. And really, those just serve as mainly convenience things, but mainly also to unlock, like, go back to areas that I saw. Hey, that was a speed booster thing that I can break now. You know,
yeah.
It really doesn't change how you interact with the world very much, other than, you know, making you run faster or giving you a double jump. You know, the Ori power-ups are a lot more involved than just stuff like that. Like, yeah, you do just get like a double jump and stuff like that as some of the power-ups, and they're very nice. But the power-up this game in particular is known for is I forget what it's called, but basically it lets you...
It's the one where you launch off of enemy attacks, right?
Enemy attacks or enemies themselves too, yeah. Move is fucking awesome. And the Definitive Edition also adds something to go along with that, a power-up, where it lets you throw a light orb in any, like, in an arc in any direction. And you can also, like, vault off of that light orb that you can throw. So it lets you...
Are you trying to crush him?
Yeah, I am.
Is it really necessary?
I want the fucking XP that it gives me.
You just keep killing other stuff.
No, I want this guy dead.
Okay.
I keep trying to skip this cutscene.
I'm mashing start, but nothing's happening. Why?
Just pausing the game. What the fuck? This game's cutscenes as well, like scenes like that, are very much like in the same vein as like Sonic the Hedgehog 3 cutscenes or something. You know, I like it.
Yeah.
'Cause it is all happening in real time in the world. See, look, I got a fucking a thing to use now.
Yeah.
So it was worth it.
Don't make me wince like that, man.
Don't worry, it made me wince too.
Ugh.
For the audience, this is also a game that I recorded like a year and a half ago. Like all of my games at this point.
We're almost done with this backlog, guys. We're almost there.
Almost, but not quite. I shouldn't be going this way yet, by the way, if it wasn't obvious. But I'm seeing if I can get some power-ups early. Which, look at that. I can. So, hooray. I did say this is a 100% run. You will not be seeing me fully complete everything. I believe it's in the last part. There's going to be a like sped up montage of me going back and clearing out the rest of the map.
What if people wanted to use this as a guide?
Well, too bad. I didn't say it was a guide, so... I just said it's a 100% run. Even though it's more of like a 99.8% run.
You can use my Mario 64 live streams as a guide. No, you can't. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Do
not. It's like 7 hours of him floundering around and collecting 40 stars only.
I thought I did pretty well for myself, but okay.
40 stars?
Hey, I couldn't look up anything.
I mean, you could, but 40 stars.
I'm not gonna look up what to do on stream.
I don't know why you think you can't do that.
I don't know, it just feels unprofessional. That's what commenters are for.
You don't know what else feels unprofessional? Accidentally copy-pasting your deaths in the Doom playthrough over and over.
What happened to the ceasefire, man?
Listen. I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'll never forget that one.
We never will. Never will. Never forget. Doom Part 9.